Hey, hey guys, just wanted to do my review and my reaction to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, Episode 8, The Last Day. Have Mac and Yo-Yo staying behind to help Flint, I guess, protect and liberate the rest of humanity in the lighthouse, while the rest of Team Coulson travels to the surface on the spaceship to, I guess, rescue May from the roaches and also meet up with Enoch. And the ship was crash landing, and it turns out May was found by Enoch and rescued and found refuge inside what was left of the Zephyr. And one of the survivors living there was an elderly Robin Hinton, who has the ability to see the future, foresee people's deaths, like her father. And I guess this is supposed to be the episode that hopefully provides some answers as to what they can do to stop this apocalyptic future.
Three more cities just went dark. It's spreading too fast.
The lighthouse is still 200 miles out.
Hey, you're not supposed to be here. What the hell's this girl's mother?
Polly didn't make it this far.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Robin, go back downstairs with the others. It's not safe up here.
It's okay. We survived the crash.
What crash?
There's a gravity storm heading right for us!
Sit down! Buckle up!
There's something else I need
to remember. Sorry. What did you ask?
How are you even here?
I told you we'd survive the crash.
The crash? I'm not sure I know.
Don't be put out if you can't follow Robin's train of thought. It's like her life is a deck of cards shuffled out of order. She's a seer, all right, but nowadays she can't separate past, present, and future. Samuel Voss, my apologies for the rough rescue, but you gotta act fast when gravity storms start kicking up.
You want to go after her? If she's alive, reclaim our property. If not, at least we'll have a trophy. All resources are at your disposal. While you're away, I'll focus on the human traders who aided the escape. We have been far too lenient with those who serve us. It's clear they require a firmer hand. The disobedience must be punished.
A renewal?
No. Retribution.
Oh, she heard
This
that.
ends today.
Well, it's not that someone forgot to pay the electric bill.
Creepers are playing games again.
Yeah, it feels more like an end game. We need to move quickly and get to level 3 where Fitz hid those weapons.
Well, the decades haven't made it any easier to understand.
It's like she's still a little girl. Best not to crowd her.
Yeah.
Hello, Robin. We've had quite a journey to get to you. I was hoping you might tell us why you brought us here.
You learn fast not to cross the creepers because they'll send you to the surface, and up there you die. But hey, turns out that everything's a lie. And people can survive up here, and even that batty old lady made it.
The one who sees through time. Probably should have mentioned that.
Yeah, well, I thought she was crazy, all right? And as I mentioned, dead. Back in the lighthouse, Virgil used to bring her tea every day and listen to her stories. At least until Kasai sent her and my dad topside.
Must have been sad to lose him. I'm sorry.
No, I was too bitter to be sad. As far as I was concerned, his loony theories got my mom killed. So he gets himself sent to the surface, good riddance. And then you guys actually show up.
Sucks when your parents get to say, I told you so.
Yeah, he can say it. I just hope he says that he forgives me.
Yeah, well, from my experience, he probably wants the same thing.
Experience?
I didn't meet my dad until I was in my 20s, and all he really wanted to do was make up for lost time.
How'd that work out?
Bit of a rocky start, but we got there.
And then he killed your mom, and then his memory was wiped, and you know, that kind of thing.
We can use. Until then, we are on our own.
I guess we are.
What about Mac and Yo-Yo?
And if we lose supplemental power, we lose climate control. Kicking off a series of cascading failures. We're hanging by a thread.
And then we hang on for as long as we can, try to minimize the damage. But Robin said there's another way.
Oh, not the girl's bloody time machine again. It's impossible. You cannot change time. It's fixed.
What if it's not? She's been right about everything else, and for us to even have a chance, you and Simmons have to design the machine.
Okay, so we spend decades on the schematics. What happens when we don't finish the job?
Then we trust that someone else will carry on after us.
We have to give ourselves a chance.
This is to remind you.
Not today, Robin.
You gave them everything you could.
Okay, I think my head was kind of... Okay, this is as much of a mind fuck for me as time travel on...
Gorgeous.
I don't get it. Doesn't the axe make it harder to shoot?
It makes it easier to chop heads off.
Wait, isn't that a good thing?
No. Because it means the Blue Man Group sent them somewhere else.
The elevator. They released them downstairs.
Last time I saw this, it sent us to the future. How'd you get a piece of the monolith?
We held on to that for a long time. It became something of a symbol for everyone who believed in the prophecy.
It's more than a symbol. If we find more of these, it could give us a shot at going back home.
Maybe Robin can tell us where the rest are.
Yeah, I don't want to retch in anyone's rations, but that's actually the only piece we've ever seen.
The others are out there somewhere.
Sure, but don't you think we should focus on something more achievable, like storming the lighthouse, showing Kasai the outside of an airlock, maybe?
Absolutely. But Fitz and Simmons need to see this.
What are we looking at?
The shard fits into the machine right here.
Maybe that's how it was able to target the monolith across time. This could be our way home.
Yeah, but the shard alone isn't enough. We need the whole monolith.
It'd be great if Robin could help us fill in the blanks here. Daisy, you knew her first. Maybe you can get through to her.
I can try.
If she helps us get home, maybe none of this ever happened.
Shotgun action. I get it now.
Time ago.
You can't. Working with them is our only option. We need their power generators, their water filtration.
Who cares what they're offering? It's not worth our freedom. We both know they want to enslave us.
Think about what Robin predicted. What will happen if you fight?
She also predicted that we would save the world.
And look at us now.
We need you with us.
Flint. Flint.
Who is this us? We changed your name. We whisper in the shadows. Whatever happened to S.H.I.E.L.D., huh?
We're doing the best we can.
Flint. Flint would
There
understand.
is no Flint. Seriously. She needs to stop talking about people who won't be born for 50 years.
Robin, now is not the time.
No. No one listens to me. Mac will help Flint.
Mac is gone. And he's never coming back.
Please, have faith.
I'm sorry, Melinda. But I stopped believing a long time ago.
After my mom died, he always kept it close. He wouldn't have left it behind.
Don't overthink it, kid. It's pretty dangerous out there in the wastelands. He probably just left it here for safekeeping.
No. Before the Blues exiled them, I begged him for that stupid rock so I'd have something to remember her by, and he said that he couldn't trust me with it.
You need to calm down.
No, you need to stop lying to me. He wouldn't leave it in your locker. So what the hell did you do to my father?
Nice! Nice, nice, nice!
What's going on?
If you don't put up a fight, you don't have to die.
Colson, we're stuck in here!
But you do.
That was the last time anyone saw Daisy Johnson alive.
And then?
By all accounts, the city had been evacuated. No one there. Afterquake walked in, 12.8 on the Richter scale, and the world cracked like an egg.
What?
How could I?
That's the question. But when you look at this moment and all of the suffering that took place after, you can't help but wonder if it could have been prevented.
She can't control herself. She can't stop seeing her people die. Keeps muttering about it.
Hold on.
She just described Gemma's death. Why don't you tell me how I'm supposed to live with that?
I thought I already told you.
Because we've tried! For all I know, we've tried 1,000 times. Always ends the same. It's like a record that keeps on skipping, and we are repeating this loop again and again and again.
Fitz, take a breath.
And every time Gemma dies, they all die. Robin can't change it. Voss couldn't change it. Even Daisy couldn't change it. She saw the aftermath, and she still destroyed the world.
Daisy. Daisy! He has a knife.
I'll make sure this never happens. What is this?
It's your life for the lives of billions.
Robin, stay back! This is the last day.
Oh, so I can't have you give her the answers. I'm sorry. It's the only option I have left.
No!
No, Robin!
She's not here, but I'll stay with you.
You always promised you'd be here at the end.
Everything all right, honey?
Can't sleep.
Come here. It's a lot to have going on in your head.
Every night, I close my eyes and see people hurting, people dying, even you.
I know. It's okay.
You're not afraid?
A little. But you'll be there by my side. Just like I'll be there for you. In the end.
I don't want to lose you too.
We're special. Remember, we never have to say goodbye.
I just haven't lived it yet.
How? Robin, how do we get back?
When you destroy the world, you remember this moment. Remember I tried to stop you.
Robin told me how. We can save everyone. Just one question, though. Who's Flint?
Okay, so this was easily the best episode of the show. I mean, the season, I should say. It did answer some questions. I was like slightly confused about how this whole time travel logistics works. Because at first it was like, they had the Zephyr, May flying the Zephyr during 2018 during the gravity storm, which is presumably after the apocalypse, and Robin was warning them about the gravity, survive the crash, and it's what a crash. But then like throughout the flashbacks, and you jump further into 2022, and then I guess slightly further down the timeline, in which it was kind of presumed, I just thought, and I was like kind of asking myself, how could Daisy be responsible for this apocalypse if they were pulled from the timeline from the past into the year 2091? Like, how could she participate in events she wasn't there for? And, based on the footage she was shown by Voss, and based on the whole conversations in the flashback, where it's just like time is fixed, like we tried to prevent this multiple times, Daisy has seen the aftermath, and it's like it still happened. It seems like, okay, they're kind of in a stable timeline in which they were pulled from the timeline, pulled from the year 2017 to the year 2091. They presumably went back to the present day, and things still played out the way they were originally supposed to, which kind of blows my mind that they had future knowledge, and yet they still failed to save the future, and things still played out exactly how they did, in spite of. And it's like, it's not like the whole situation with in season 3 where where they had like a whole foreshadowed somebody's death with the necklace with the cross on it, and it foreshadowed Lincoln's death, and it's like, this is a different situation. They time traveled, so you figure they had enough knowledge to undo the events of this apocalyptic future, but in spite of that, things still played out exactly how they did, and it kind of throws my whole theory out the window that I thought, like, it had to do with the fact that the Avengers lost the Infinity War to Thanos, and he destroyed the world. Then that information was lost in time, and the Kree exploited the situation and took over what was left for humanity. But now it just seems like, now it kind of makes you wonder how long they're supposed to stay in the future, because apparently it seems like not even the events of, now I'm even wondering if even the events of Infinity War like played out in that original timeline. And it suggests that maybe it didn't, and now it shows it. And I guess it can adds to the frustration to the fact that now that it seems like the team, like once they got back to the past, like they got increasingly frustrated about how much they were failing to prevent what was happening. Mac presumably was killed when they got back home, and you know, basically Fitz and Yo-Yo were disenchanted, and ironically, but it didn't show like what happened to Phil and Daisy after they got back after the apocalypse. Other than they were trying to organize humanity underneath the lighthouse, and it seems like the Kree still took over, or they accepted their takeover, or something. Although I did find it like very heartwarming and sweet that when Robin's mom died, that Melinda became her surrogate mother, and I felt like if anyone was gonna have faith and become, I guess that the faith came from from the future information she got from Robin in 2091, and I felt especially heartwarming because considering the fact that she's had to spend years living with the fact that she had to kill a child to save lives, and the Bahrain incident that got her the name the Calvary. So it's ironic, but also kind of poetic that she became this like motherly figure to Robin, and you can tell like it brought out like a warmer side to her and more like an optimistic side as opposed to one that was more kind of like hardened and jaded over her whole experiences over the last several years. With her having to kill that kid, and then all the events of like the last 4 seasons of the show. And it was, I don't know, I really like that dynamic, and even in that alternate timeline, even though May wasn't originally aware of it because she hasn't experienced it yet, I guess before quite yet, from her perspective, from her personal timeline, which is like it's a little bit confusing, but I don't know. I guess you can kind of think of it as like if anybody's like ever saw like Back to the Future Part 2, where like Marty and Jennifer traveled with Doc Brown to the year from 1985 to that retrofuturistic on 2015, where it's like there was there's not only were their future selves still there, but they also had kids and settled down, and their lives have played out as if they never had, were pulled from the timeline and traveled to the future. So it's kind of a similar situation, except unlike in part, it seems like I guess they haven't gone to like in Back to the Future Part 3 where that couple is able to avert their kind of direct future. I guess the Team Coulson seems like, I guess based on Robin's memories and own personal timeline, that things still kind of played out in spite of her best efforts, and the team was the diner was the last place that anyone saw them, which is why Robin had Enoch captured and pulled them and sent them into the future. And it was cool that they found like a piece of the rock from like a piece of the monolith, and apparently that I guess from Fitzsimmons' own future knowledge from being in 2019, that they designed the time machine that allowed them to pull them from the past in the first place. And even though they didn't live long enough to see it happen, and now it was interesting when you thought like, oh, Bob's going to be an ally to Deke, or at least Deke's father and stuff like that. But then you kind of find out how much I guess Voss was basically just wanting to like capture Team Coulson, just basically murder everybody, just so they want to go back into the past and prevent this terrible future that they're all in. And I feel like that was like the best way to stop. They felt like that was the best way to stop, and I was shocked when kill Robin, because it's like, oh great, they're gonna be stuck there for like the whole season, and now they're gonna have to like do God knows what. Is it gonna make it that much harder for them to get back and figure out what they need to do? I mean, it was kind of cool to see that sub. I mean, I wasn't as invested in the subplot where Mac, Yo-Yo, and Flint were fighting off the roaches, the Nexians, also known in the comics, and it was like Mac pointed out, and eventually, it was kind of cool to see them find a way to like overcome the Nexians, and Yo-Yo putting all those like little disintegrators on them, like kind of kill them all, and Mac and Yo-Yo being able to rally all the remaining humans and say that their only chance of survival is like sticking together. They can't let Cassius turn everyone, split them apart. But it was like the more of the stuff that was happening on the Zephyr, both past and present, or in the past or in the future, that I felt the most invested in. And this is probably one of the few times where like I wasn't like annoyed with Deke, considering he's always kind of underhanded and self-centered and kind of survivalist and kind of looking out for himself mostly. But now, given that I think they've kind of found some common ground now, knowing that his dad was killed by Voss, and which I'm not sure. Which I guess he wanted to. I guess because he wanted to send Team Coulson back to the present day, and Voss was hell bent on capturing the team and killing them, and hoping that it would change. It would alter future events. But it looks like given the flashbacks and how things have been playing out so far, it seems like, I don't know, maybe I'm hoping they succeed this time. I mean, like I said, it's like kind of mind blowing. They got all this future knowledge and things still played out the way they did. But I guess we'll see. And it seems like Cassius seems to be kind of hot on everybody's trail and is ready to destroy all of what's left of humanity at this point, and the lighthouse and all of 616. And so the stakes are kind of higher to try to find what remains of the monolith and get back to the present, or at very least stop Cassius from destroying the lighthouse, which is kind of a more like immediate situation that they have to resolve before getting back home. But yeah, again, I feel like this was like the best episode of the season so far. But did you guys feel the same way? Like, what are your predictions for next week? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. I know I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.